Good afternoon, morning, evening, or night, ladies and gents. My name is Alex, and I'm here with Jamie.
Hey!
So that's your new ditty. Hey!
Hey!
I like that one.
I don't.
Yeah, me neither. It's shit. This episode comes in from Anthonioin. Sorry.
Well, hold on.
I don't know how to say your name.
Hold on. James?
James, please. Jordan,
I've had enough.
Jordan, come on. We need to record. It sounds like it's some guy with explosive diarrhea. James, fucking hell. Jordan, stop it. Jim,
Yeah?
fucking grab his iPad.
Right.
Okay, no, stop.
Okay.
That's what I thought, you fucking little bitch.
This comment wasn't actually a question, per se, but I just noticed it and thought this would make an interesting topic. We all agree that Pixels is way better than Fan 4 Stick. That's, of course, the new Fantastic Four movie, the wonderful, critically acclaimed Marvel movie about the beloved characters that everyone really cares about.
Can you just say the statement again?
You got Mr. Bend. We all agree that Pixels is way better than Fan 4 Stick. Well, that's an incorrect. I haven't even seen Pixels, and I can tell you that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I mean, that doesn't
So
do it.
let me just say that Fantastic Four. Is that what it's called?
No, it's Fan 4 Stick.
Sorry. Let's just agree and say that Fan 4 Stick is not like the worst thing I've ever seen. As far as
Well, obviously not for you.
okay, this is going to be
unfair.
this is going to be a long one. I'm telling you right now, this is going to be a fucking long one.
Buckle up, folks.
Because this is going to devolve into a discussion about superhero movies. I can just see it. So, Fan 4 Stick, we saw it. We thought, huh?
Wow, that was good.
We didn't. No, we didn't think it was good. We were because of the sensationalized media going. This is the worst thing ever. This really is terrible. Blah blah blah. Everyone thinks it's the worst thing. We go into it expecting the worst, and then we find out that this movie is like there's something there at its core. There's something kind of weirdly special about it. Not that the actual product in the end is really that good, but it's such a bizarre movie because you watch the whole thing and it's got a certain tone to it, and then finally at the end, for the last 20 minutes, it just flings into this bizarre, really weird. It feels like a Marvel movie. The villain just suddenly appears and is like, "Let's shoot a laser into space," and what does he want to do? The fuck does he want to do?
Destroy the
Spoilers,
world.
by the way, for movie no one cares about.
Destroy the world.
It was to destroy the world with a big laser or whatever,
Yeah.
but it just suddenly switches focus. But none of that really matters. The fact that what does matter is how this movie is sort of like it's like the last fleeting, desperate attempt to sort of fight against this almost sickening superhero thing that's like getting out of control. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean, brother? Do you know what I mean? Because let me explain myself. We've been getting a lot of superhero movies, getting these Marvel movies, getting these DC movie, and everyone's all over that Marvel schlonger. They're loving these Marvel movies. They're loving the Avengers. They're loving the Iron Man. They're loving Thor. He's great.
They're all great.
It's all just this fucking big pile of shit. Come on.
It's like watching the same movie over and over and over.
And over. I mean,
Time and time again.
so we see all these. I've seen every Marvel movie. I've seen every single one. And what do I remember from them? Man did this.
Goody wins.
Goody wins. And you could say, oh, that's what I want to see. Yeah. But you know what I want to see? I want to see movies that have a point. where things change and characters evolve and learn things. What does Thor learn in Thor 2? How to punch someone hard?
No, we already knew that.
No, he learns how to defeat an elf.
Yeah, I didn't see that movie.
He learns how to defeat an elf. And I like the Avengers. I like them. But here's the thing. X-Men Days of Future Past is like one of the better superhero movies, not because of like any action sequence necessarily or anything like that, but because it's like it's a proper movie. It doesn't feel like it's this product that's been constructed to hit certain beats. Because when you look at like the Avengers 2, for example, we only watched it again the other day, and it feels exactly like the first movie. It's like everyone liked this thing with the Hulk going crazy and doing a thing like picking up Loki and slamming him about. Let's do that again, but this time let's have him punching him a lot of times in the face, punching the Hulk in the face with the robot mega suit. And people liked the whole space laser coming down and lots of minions running around for them to destroy. So let's do that again, but let's flip it on its head. So instead of a laser going out of the Earth, it's a laser it's a drilling into the Earth, and there's lots of minions to fight. And that's every single superhero movie. Let's go through them. Iron Man 1, Iron Man fights another Iron Man. Iron Man 2, Iron Man fights
another Iron Man.
Another Iron Man. Iron Man 3, Iron Man fights Fireman.
With lots of Iron Men.
With lots of Iron Mans. Thor, that's like the only interesting relationship between the villain. It's him and his brother, who isn't actually like his brother. Is an ice yeti. He's a snowman. Thor 2, Thor fights an elf. Captain America fights Red Man, and it's the worst movie of it. No, Captain America 2. What happened in that movie?
He fights reverse Captain America.
This is going to piss so many people off. The Avengers 1. They punch big bugs.
They fight aliens and then fight reverse Thor.
And then in Avengers 2, they fight Robot Man.
Lots of little Robot
And
Man.
then guess what's going to happen in Captain America Civil War? Captain America is going to punch Iron Man. And guess what's going to happen in Batman vs Superman? Batman's going to punch Superman. And guess what's going to happen in the Avengers Infinity War? The Avengers are going to get punched by green. No, he's not green, he's purple. The Avengers are going to get punched by purple.
Darkseid.
They're going to get punched by purple Darkseid Man, who's not Darkseid. Here's the thing, I've got no sort of attachment to any of these characters, really. I don't read any of the comics, I just look at them as movies. And that's why I think there are 2 or 3 real standouts in terms of superhero movies that surpass the fact that they are dumb superhero movies. And here they are. The Dark Knight is one of them. Do you agree?
Mm-hmm.
The fucking forgotten it. I think the first Avengers does in a way. Well, in some ways, it doesn't defy any.
I think it was the start of the trend almost.
Yeah, it was the trendsetter, but that at the time it was like the
Well, it was new at the time, but now we've gotten the same thing.
Fatigued by it, yeah. And the third one was either X-Men 2 or Days of Future Past, I think. Because they just have more going on in them. It's just the same fucking thing over and over again. I know people like seeing the same thing over again, but it was Guardians of the Galaxy, that's what it was. It wasn't the Avengers, it was Guardians of the Galaxy. What do you mean,
It wasn't new, was it?
Guardians of the Galaxy isn't new. I love how we've just completely gone off the Fantastic Four thing, but the Guardians of the Galaxy is not new. But what it is, though... James, can you stop with the fucking car noises?
Jesus Christ.
James, please, just turn... I can't think with that shit in the background.
It's not shit.
Put some headphones in or something.
Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy. They do this... It defies all the other Marvel movies, but at the same time, it's the same, but it's different. It's like the pinnacle of all of those Phase 1... whatever you want to call it, just the pinnacle of all these Marvel dumb superhero movies, and it's this like polished gem that through a bunch of weird circumstances with this crazy director with these characters that no one cares about, so they can take a few more risks, with Marvel actually taking a risk with it, full stop. They were able to make this film that's kind of filled with heart and energy and ups and downs and good soundtrack and everything that makes a movie good. What do you remember about, I don't know, what's a Marvel movie? Captain America 1.
No, but neither of us like that movie.
Okay, Iron Man 1.
The thing is, I find it the same with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Why though?
What part do you remember about Guardians of the Galaxy more than?
What do I remember about it? I remember that it's like a story with these bunch of flawed characters that work together and come together to become this team.
The Avengers. but
But I like it more than the Avengers. I think it works more than the Avengers.
I mostly saw it as the same thing but with a different soundtrack.
What, the Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yeah.
You don't think that, like, the dynamic between the characters there is, like, the motivation is so much more solid. And it's like the perfect storm of all these happenstances and events that just lead them to be this clusterfuck of a team that just works. It's the Star Wars thing, where it's all these unlikely people that end up in this same situation, and it just the balance of it just works so well. Whereas, what do you remember in Iron Man 1? I know everyone loves Iron Man 1, but
he flies in Iron Man and flies with planes.
They just don't have much substance, is all what I'm saying. What's more to it? I know you don't need, like, these thoughtful, in-depth movies, superhero movies, because they're fucking superhero movies. You can't... Well, you could, but you don't make Thor like a contemplative think piece of a fucking movie. You make it a dumb, idiotic... whatever that movie was. I can't remember. A what do you call it when you take the character out of place? And fish out of water thing where, oh, it's this alien man he's on Earth. I don't know. So, like, when we come...
I just think that the threat is never anything. It never matters.
Yeah. That's the biggest thing.
Whereas, like, with Star Wars or with The Dark Knight, the enemy is a threat. People are lost and bad things happen. With these other movies, everyone is fine. And
what makes that even worse is the fact that we know that there's going to be another Captain America. We know that Avengers 58 is coming out, so we don't have to fear for anything that's happening, because if they kill character B off, then that's money lost. They can't make another blank of that movie, so they're not going to kill them off, and that's fucking boring. Not that you have to have this world where everyone has to just die all the time like Game of Thrones. That's not what you mean. But think about the original Star Wars. Obi-Wan dies in that first movie. That shows that there's an actual threat. It shows that people can die in this universe, and it gives motivation to everyone. It just makes it feel more like a real thing with the threat. What do you remember about the villains in the Marvel universe? They're always just like a villain version of the goody guy.
Mm-hmm.
Apart from Loki, who's just like a trickster, who's not even really a villain. He's just sort of jealous, and that's that. Ultron comes close, but he's like so underused in that movie that he ends up just being this nothing. But Fan Four Stick, going back to that,
it's a product of all of these things.
It's like this ultimate realization movie of like this business attitude. Like, they got this director who they knew he's not like a director for hire. He had this idea clearly he had this idea, this like weird, a little bit more thoughtful, more quiet version of these weird superheroes that no one really cares about. And he wanted to make this like body horror, weird, quiet superhero movie that was more about people dealing with this weird thing that happened to them, instead of being there's a villain, we have to fight him and beat him sort of mentality that all the other ones have. And studio, for some reason, they greenlight this movie. He starts making it. They get scared about this product not being marketable, so they force all these weird changes on it. Of course, we don't know that for certain. We don't know the behind the scenes or anything like that. But that's what it feels like. That's certainly what it feels like, because the last part of that movie is fucking bizarre.
Really, really weird.
Because I was kind of into that movie for a big chunk of it. I was like, especially when they first get the powers and get back, and they're just like, oh my god, oh my god. They're just like
that's the peak by far.
In horrible like flame guys just on fire, just fucking writhing in agony. It's cool, but then it just like ends. It just goes to this. Oh man, it's such a fucking weird movie. So superhero movies are the worst.
Yeah, I just think when everything is in such danger, like in the Avengers, where if they fail, billions of people are going to die. You're like, oh, they're not going to fail then.
Yeah,
because then they're not going to let billions of people die in this movie.
I just if that happened in one of them, that's like the only idea they have left now. That's the only thing they could do to surprise people. There's this. Hopefully they do it with Thanos. That would really make him like an awesome villain. If in the first part of that movie he does the thing that they always do, they shoot a laser into the sky, but they fail. and like an entire city is just fucking obliterated or something, and millions of people are killed. Something like that.
Yeah, but then there'll be a Man of Steel.
Yeah. No, but you show them desperately trying to fight against it, because none of these villains have weight or anything to them, because they never can hurt anyone. They never prove that they're a villain. Everyone's scared of the Joker because he like fucking murders everyone, and no one knows what he's going to do next. No one knows what's going on. No one's scared of Loki. They laugh at him, make jokes about him.
Has the Joker ever been in a film where people like... where he hasn't killed someone himself?
In the original Batman movie, he killed like 1 trillion people. The Dark Knight kills trillions of people. It looks like Jared Leto is probably going to do the exact same. The Joker in the Arkham games always does. Ultimately, what it comes down to is, I know people love superhero movies. That's cool. You like what you like. But do you really want another 10, 20, 30 superhero movies that are all the exact same thing? Because look over the last 10 years or however long it's been since Iron Man 1, and I don't see any real variation. I don't really see anything that special from it. You're not going to look back at, I don't know, the Thor 2 and say, yeah, now that was a movie worth remembering. You're not going to look back at it like you would like Mad Max or, you know, Star Wars or any of these big memorable movies that have things that happen in them, because they are just products and it's so obvious. No one's going to remember Fan 4 Stick. I'm going to remember Fan 4 Stick before I remember like most of the other Marvel movies, just because of how interestingly broken it is. That's just my thoughts on the whole matter. I was so hyped for all these superhero movies. I was so into it.
You know, I think a lot of people said they were worried about the Guardians of the Galaxy trailers, but then happy with the actual movie. For me, it was sort of the other way around.
How come?
The trailers looked more different, and
you think?
Like, yeah, and weird, and
but the movie is different and weird.
No, but it's not. At the end, they do that shit, and let's stop the guy from laser beaming the ground.
The difference with that one is that it has a core, and it has a different theme of these people coming together, and the villain in it really isn't that important. It's just sort of this necessary part that is only there to set things in motion so all these other people can work together and become a thing. Like, if you make the villain in that movie too in-depth, then it's too much. It unbalances the movie, because you need to make the main characters who we don't know, we need to make them interesting instead of the other way around for that one. You need to make, when you've got like the Avengers 14, you need to make the villain interesting in that one, because we know these characters already. We don't know the Guardians of the Galaxy. We need to know them. And that's what that movie does. You get to learn about Rocket Raccoon's like weird backstory shit where he's like pulled apart and put back together and stuff. You get to learn about Drax and his family. You get to learn about Star-Lord and his mother and stuff. And that's all really effective shit.
No, but why at the end did it have to be such high stakes?
That's when it comes back to the Marvel movie product thing.
It would have been way more interesting if it was personal about them.
That's what I hear people like about Ant-Man.
Yeah.
How it's like really scaled back in comparison. It's just this dude, like, I haven't seen it yet. But again, like, at the same time, it's not exactly like, wow, this is really, really fucking special, this Ant-Man movie. No, it's still another Marvel movie.
Can I add something then?
What?
The best superhero movie is Chronicle. It's technically a superhero movie.
It is, I suppose. Akira's kind of a superhero movie. Like
and
a weird
fucked
fucked up one.
Wasn't it directed by the same dude as Fantastic Four?
Mm-hmm. That's why he got the job, I expect.
Well, Chronicle?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Chronicle's so good compared to fucking...
Chronicle is very good, but again, it's like it's a
Control.
It's a different thing. I'm just so over this whole superhero movie thing. Like, I'll watch them, but I'm not going to get excited for them anymore. I don't care.
I think if Guardians of the Galaxy came out earlier, I would like it so much more.
If it came out earlier.
Like, before all of these other movies that were...
That's still my favourite Marvel movie. I think it's still the best one to me.
I think it is for me as well, but I just don't put any of them on that high of a thing.
I really like that movie. I think just looking at it as a movie, like the pacing and the way they use the soundtrack.
I think also the fact that they didn't pander to loads of people that read the comic books about these people, from what I can tell, about these characters.
Yeah.
Because like 3 people had read it.
And it was a weird movie. It was quite
explained so much better than the actual.
Yeah, I've had enough of it. I think the absolute killing point for me is going to be Batman vs Superman. It's all totally just on that movie for me. Marvel, I just don't care anymore. DC I've always just liked because I like the Batman movies a lot. And this is going to be the point where it's like, if this movie is super good and they do something different, which is, I mean, it's completely on the table right now. We have no idea. I have a bad feeling that it's going to be just this incoherent mess. That's if I had to put my money down, that would be my guess right now for that movie, because it just seems like it's too fan servicey.
Which one?
Batman vs Superman.
Too fan services.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Batman with his well, the most famous Batman story like of all time. They're doing that. They're like, how can we get people into this thing so we can build this universe? I know the Dark Knight Returns, the one that everyone knows and likes. Let's make him look like that. Let's make him old. Let's do all these things. Let's put fucking Lex Luthor in there as well. Let's put all this shit in there.
Yeah, that movie seems like it's just filled with a lot of stuff.
I don't know, but again, I'm more excited for that than Marvel movie next.
No, I'd be more excited for Suicide Squad. So that's like a different perspective on it.
That's true, actually. Suicide Squad does seem
Suicide
more
Squad.
Interesting. Like you don't see Marvel doing something like that. That's weird. That movie.
Yeah.
Weird and risky, and I like that.
And gritty. Sort of looks really edgy.
I think the X-Men films are pretty damn good because they have a different center to them. The center of the Marvel films is that they're like dumb, fun comedies. The center of the X-Men films is that they're sort of these fucked up, like, character pieces of these people who have this horrible thing that's a metaphor for all these other things in real life. So yeah, superhero movies, whatever. The end. Tell me what you think about superhero movies. It's like
What's the best one?
it's like the longest video I've ever fucking made.
What's the worst one?
All of them.
What do you think about
Especially
Marvel
ones made
movies?
by Marvel.
What makes you care about them? Am I wrong? Am I right? Who knows? Tell me in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching. All comments and ratings are very much appreciated. Any last words?
No.
I'll see you next time. Bye.
Ciao.